Good morning and welcome to Namaste today, a soothing way to begin every day. I'm Christopher Witecki, your humble host and spiritual life coach. This webisode is for Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. Thank you for logging in. Namaste. Well, today, my friend, may be a little irritable and a little moody. You may be a bit oversensitive. Emotions are getting intense, and we're just 2 days away from a full moon lunar eclipse. So in today's Zodiac weather, I'll give you some coaching on what the planets have to say about vulnerability. And then later in our tea time, I thought I would give some tips and clues from what I've learned when it comes to emotion, our energy in motion. But first, let's dive into the planets and our moods with your daily moodcast and our Zodiac weather. This Zodiac weather is for Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. Looking at the Earth's global consciousness, cloudy and oversensitive today for just about everybody on Earth. The key words are hurry up and wait. You'll be feeling pressure to get moving. At the same time, you'll be experiencing a bit of an all-stop. Emotions are getting passionate, and it's countdown to a lunar eclipse in 48 hours. Let's take a look at the planets. Well, my friend, things get emotional today. That's due to a lot of Cancer energy or step 2 consciousness on the planet. The sun moves to step 20. That means we're in the third decan now of the Aquarius energy. And although Aquarius is all intellectual, all air, and all what you think, it actually, in this third decan, comes down to passion. Everything with a 2 means emotional. So it's how we feel about these ideas. It's how we feel about these concepts. It's how we feel about where we belong. And feelings is what's key today. The sun is at step 20, and Mercury, our mind, is at step 2. That basically means the universe has lit up all of your emotions from your 2-year-old to your 20-year-old inside of you, and it's up to you to keep them at bay. Now, the key of a step 20 day is the 0, I protect. It's vital today to take time and space with your emotions and give them extra attention or nurturing as they may need. This alone will make you feel a little better, even if it's a little extra time in the car ride. But part of the issue is we are emotionally meditating today. The moon is involved in a temporary grand square. That means it's basically stuck in a do-si-do with Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter all at once. Each of these planets are trying to fight for their own direction and their own power. And really what's moving the fastest, or what's stirring it all up, are emotions. Put in layman's terms, this means your feelings will be grappling with several parts of your life today, and because your feelings are dealing with several parts of your life, your whole life may feel stopped. You may not know which direction to turn. You may not know what to do at any moment. Here's what to do. Pay attention to your feelings. It seems the universe only has one goal today, and that's for you to get in touch with how you feel about anything and everything that comes up. And this is before a lunar eclipse coming up in about 48 hours. In this lunar eclipse, you'll be drawing lines between your heart and where things really belong. And so today it's really that sitting and stirring and meditating on these feelings, maybe stuck in traffic, maybe while you're waiting in line at the bank, but it's important to know how you feel about these things so you can know how you want to end up later. So it's unfortunate spiritual soul work that we all have to do. And the better you self-nurture, the better you will be. Now, Venus and Mars are also conjuncting, and what that means in simple terms is we're all being reborn inside. We're opening up to new things, and we're ready to act on new things. But it's the very early stages, so things are sensitive. And yes, you should probably be feeling like a baby. That's what it's like when Venus and Mars come together. It's a teenagerhood or inner child temper tantrum, because you're literally trying to man or woman up in a new way. So this is another energy that's happening. Now, Venus says, open up to what you believe today. So what you want to open to is what you believe. If you have choices and you wonder if you should take the choice, well, do you believe in that choice? If the answer is yes, then you should open up. At the same time, Mars is saying, decide it's time to eliminate what you are not, eliminate what you won't do. eliminate the choices you definitely don't want. This allows you to focus on what's important, and it won't overwhelm your emotions. And adding to all this emotion, I want to remind you of yesterday's topic, Old Black Lilith. We are definitely being tested on fears right now. So much fear coming up. The more people I talk to and the more comments I read and whatnot, people are reporting back. Indeed, irrational fear coming up, having crazy nightmares, people waking up in the middle of the night in cold sweats, that sort of thing. So I'm happy but also compassionate to hear that we're all kind of going through the fear sweats. Today, if you haven't faced those fears or kind of allowed them to come through, they may intensify. Now remember, the whole point of this coming up is to get rid of these old fears forever, look at them in the eye and say, I'm no longer interested in this topic. In fact, in today's tea time, I want to give you a little advice on how to deal with emotion and fear. And I'm no expert, but I do study the planets, and I do have this method called step astrology, and I can share with you what I have learned. So steep yourself some tea, my friend, and let's have our daily tea time. Good day, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's topic is Emotion 101. Now, when it comes to the topic of emotion, this is really my biggest school topic for myself. Emotion is something that I've never actually been very good at. And although I've learned to be genuine and let out my feelings over time, I want to tell you that when I first started this journey of astrology, I was kind of cold. It took a long time until Saturn crossed my moon for me to really begin to get into my emotions. And I started to understand that, at least as far as my story was concerned, I had tucked them away and had learned to ignore them for a long time. In fact, that ignoring of emotion caused a lot of anxiety inside of me, a lot of fear. It caused illness and dis-ease. It caused asthma attacks when I was a child. And it's a habit I had probably from many, many lifetimes ago as a survival technique to just stuff my emotions away as far as inside of myself. Now, strangely enough, I didn't think I was cold because whenever I be in front of someone, all my emotion can come forward. In fact, I'm very good about sharing emotion with other people. But when it came to dealing with my own emotion inside, I really was not born good at it whatsoever. Now, thank Goddess, I was given a Cancer mommy. My mother's a Cancer, and so she is all emotion, and she's all about action on emotion, and she might be sometimes drowning in emotion, but at least I had this constant example of what emotion was and how to make it feel better. And I'd say Cancers naturally have this instinct of how to make emotion feel better. So I thought today I would share with you what I've learned so far about feeling better and some of the concepts of emotion. Now, a couple interesting things here before I get started. Most people, they don't really fear an event. They don't fear something bad happening. I think they fear the feeling that they're going to have when it happens. I think most people fear feelings. They fear being stuck in these feelings. People fear that if they feel bad, they're going to feel bad forever, and the fear gets worse, and then you feel even more worse. A lot of people I notice, when emotion hits them, they tend to freeze, like a deer in headlights, just not doing anything. And the emotion kind of just takes them over, and it's almost like they've been taken over by some sort of spiritual virus for a second or something, and they just kind of don't know what to do in that emotion. I think a lot of us inside in our hearts do get overwhelmed when a lot of emotion hits us and we don't know what to do. And when emotion hits, I've definitely observed that the mind will scramble. That smartass starts scrambling, trying to think of something to make us feel better. And a lot of times my dumbass, actually smartass I'll say, will say something or think of something that makes me feel worse. So when we're engulfed in emotion, our mind tries to fix it. Our mind often makes it worse. And now you just kind of turn into this spinning emotional knot. And I've noticed that people can stay there. People can stay there all night. They can stay there all week. They can stay there in emotional knots about depression or sad things. And it's just them thinking and emotion and reacting and thinking and emotionally reacting, basically beating yourself up emotionally and not knowing how to get out of it. And strangely enough, it's kind of like seeing a little kid hitting themselves. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you hitting yourself, But as little children, I think human beings, we don't know how to really manage our emotions and make us feel better. I really think that a big leap in our personal evolution is just our ability to cope with emotions much better and get really good at them. So I want to share a little bit with how emotions work, at least what astrology says. And the moon is the ruling planet of emotion. So the earth is in the center and the moon spins around the earth. And the moon, or our emotions, are a satellite. Our emotions spin around our reality. It's our energy in motion, emotion. And as it spins around our reality, this emotion, it picks up on all the other states of awareness. This is why it's known as the Holy Ghost. It blows through different parts of our life, and it's constantly spinning around and checking on the other parts. So let's say, if something happens to our ego, we'll have a surge of emotion come into our ego, but that energy will spin around through our values, spin around into our mind, spin around into our foundation, spin into our heart. Our body will have an opinion, our reflective side, all these parts of our consciousness all emote with that. It's almost like a harmony of frequencies. So emotion can make us feel really out of control. And I think that's what most people fear, is that their emotions will get out of control. And so many of us have developed all sorts of habits like drinking and even overworking and, all sorts of obsessions to just get out of that emotional hot tub and try to make things better. But I have some simple tips, and I think emotion is something that serves us. I look at emotion as, although intense and sometimes hard to deal with, I kind of look at it as the Force in Star Wars. I think the force of emotion, this energy, is not to be feared, but it's to be read. It's to be understood. It's to be read like the Force or read like psychic energy. We should read and be aware of how we feel about certain things. And you have to be non-judgmental. You have to not let the mind stir the pot up anymore. So I have these simple tips with how to work with the force of emotion. First of all, you need time and space with your emotions alone. Emotions really can't be dealt with when you're in the car or dealing with other people, because your emotions pick up on other people's emotions. So you have to, step zero, take time and space, time out for yourself. That old idea of putting a toddler in timeout, it works. Okay, so you have to put yourself in timeout. Otherwise, you're not going to change your emotion. The next thing you have to do is you have to identify how you feel. And this might be one feeling or many. In fact, meditation is really meditating on how we feel about certain things. So you must really know how you feel. Now, if you feel like shit or angry or something like that, that's okay. You want to be really aware, like, I'm angry. I feel like crap. Like, I am effing angry. Okay. You want to be conscious of how you feel, and you want to give it voice inside of you and say, I am feeling this way. Then you want to identify how you wish to feel. Okay, you're angry, you're pissed, you're full of fear. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel next? And this, by the way, took me till age 40 to realize that you had to tell emotions where you wanted them to go. I just thought you sat in them and did nothing. I finally learned, oh no, you've got to direct them. You've got to direct that consciousness of where you want it to be next. And once you have decided, okay, this is how I feel, and this is how I want to feel next, then the next step is you dive into the feeling. You allow yourself to feel that anger. You jump into this pool. You let the pool take you. You've already put in the spiritual map quest and told it this emotion starts here and ends there. And at that point, you are a participant. You allow it to go with the flow. So, it's okay are the magic words. It's okay I'm angry. I'm angry and that's okay. And you just kind of hold it. You just allow yourself to feel it and say to yourself, and it's totally okay that I'm effing angry. It's totally okay that I want to burn that house down. It's totally okay. And you sit with it. Now, what you're doing when you sit with that energy is you're allowing the emotion to flow through you. You're not resisting, you're not blocking, you're not making it worse. And you're giving it really what it wanted, which was time and space with you. That's the weird little sidestep here. That's the truth. So what happens is as you give it time and space, you will find that the emotions go away. You will find that you gently float to the destination you desired. you will find that if you simply are an active witness and participant, if you are simply compassionate to your own feelings, give it the time and space and keep saying to it, it's okay, it's okay. In fact, I even try to make myself laugh. I'm such a dork. I'll be like, it's okay, we can go kill the whole town if you want, little Chris. Like, I'll just tell myself, like, whatever you want, sweetie, I'm on your side. And it took me, I remember when I was clearing some crazy anger a couple years ago, I think it took me 4 days of being it's okay with tremendous anger before the fire started to ember out, and I indeed let go of that forever. So today is a very passionate day, and in the next 36 hours, there's a lot of passion too. And you want to know how you feel today, and you want to know how you intend to feel tomorrow. You want to give your consciousness that destination, because if you don't know the best choice to make in life, if you don't know the winning lotto numbers, if you don't know the perfect career, you do know one thing, and this is how the universe works. You know how you feel, you know how you want to feel. Now, God and Spirit is pretty smart. If you tell God those feelings, they'll figure it out, and you will end up feeling that way. All right, my friends, so grateful for this little opportunity with you. I appreciate you showing up every day, and I appreciate you showing up for yourself. I know how hard it is. It's not easy. I'll be back in 24 hours with more. Until then, remember I love you, and live, love, be.
Live, love, be.